Okay. One other piece of just interesting conversation comes from our good friend Bruce Feldman. And he wrote an article on Tuesday that, headline of the article, could Jim Harbaugh return to the NFL? Quote, I think it's real. He goes on to write, The Athletic is hearing rumblings, both from the NFL side and at Michigan, that Harbaugh might be tempted to leave the Wolverines to return to the NFL. He mentions the Las Vegas Raiders as one potential spot. He also mentions the Chicago Bears. So is this just bringing back, now that Harbaugh's stock has risen just high enough? Like, is there a minimum stock price for Jim Harbaugh that automatically triggers NFL interest and NFL rumors? What are we making about another edition of Harbaugh NFL rumor season?
So let me get this straight. Jim Harbaugh leaves the NFL for Michigan, wants to rebuild the program that helped made him and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Struggles a bit to do so, although he certainly elevates the floor. Gets to a point where everybody's like, I'm not sure this is working. We might have to fire him and start over. Then says, you know what? No, this is too important to me. I will just give up half my salary and go strictly bonus related. Please keep me. I want to be here. I want to stay. It happens. And then they win the Big Ten and get to the college football playoff. And after doing all that and restructuring his salary to make sure he stayed at Michigan when he could have just left last year and then gone to the NFL, now he's interested in going to the NFL. Okay, sure.
I have a little bit of an alternate theory, although I think Tom's is the most likely theory. So just to keep the show interesting, I want to propose some alternate theories. Michigan just got whipped by Georgia. Now, I think we would both agree that there are different kind of game scripts for that game where they probably don't get whipped, and that thing snowballed on them, and we discussed that on the show after the two playoff games. But obviously, if you're Michigan, you just played that game, and you realize there are some guys that you're not currently signing that maybe you'd like to sign. Maybe Harbaugh wants to keep his status out there as very attractive for the NFL in order to get Michigan to start playing the serious recruiting game with NIL. My thought is, like, what schools could be better than Michigan at NIL, given their alumni base and how many people they have own really successful corporations? I mean, I guess Stanford or Harvard or Yale probably could drop the bags better than they could. But maybe there's some of that. Like, hey, guys, I want to be serious about this. Also, we'll note Michigan lost defensive ends coach to USC today. Sean Nua is going to take the same job at Southern Cal. He'd been there for 3 years. Obviously, Michigan just had a tremendous run of defensive end development with Hutchinson and Ajabo. So I don't know if that's somebody that they wanted to be gone or not. I think they have an internal promotion there that is going to be fine. But I wonder if this isn't just a move. Hey, guys, I'm pretty valuable, right? And I did you a solid this last year, and I donated all that bonus money to charity or to people in the athletic department who are not as fortunate as me as far as how much money they make. And Harbaugh's kind of a weird dude. I think he's a good dude, but there are ways to pressure your employer to get the things you want as opposed to just money. Like, he may want things that are not just salary, or he may just want to get back to the NFL after getting his butt beat by Georgia and saying, "Damn, that's the best team I've ever had here by a lot." And I was not competitive in that playoff game.
Yeah, he had the quote after the game that this is the beginning of the next Michigan era, that he feels like, this was a true breakthrough. And I don't know if he believes that, then I would say that this is an effort to, like you mentioned, Bud, maybe not get salary, but at least get some kind of investment of resources, time, money, donors, boosters, whatever it may be. If he does not look at this as truly the beginning, then maybe he says, look, I beat Ohio State. I won a Big Ten championship. Like, those are things that I could say I've done my part, right? You could look at this as a good time to be able to split and say, I have given to my alma mater the things that I was brought here to do, to beat Ohio State and to bring a Big Ten championship back to Ann Arbor. He might feel comfortable closing the book there. I'm not going to pretend to know what's going on between his ears.
He also just may not be okay playing the game where recruiting is going, right? Like, if you remember the did he outright accuse Kirby Smart of cheating? Remember this?
When?
Back like when he was doing the satellite camp stuff.
Probably.
And I know he called out Kirby Smart a long time ago, 2016. It wasn't. Where was this at?
I mean, I can't. I know I was pretty emphatic. I can't rule out the idea that he might leave for the NFL.
Like
So,
he just doesn't like playing this game. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? He's very
but-
much like a collegiate type feel, rah, school first, not me first type thing. And
But at the same time, this has happened every January around the last weeks of the NFL season. Every single year Harbaugh's been at Michigan, these rumors have been out there except for 1 year, last year. And the only reason it didn't happen last year was because it was Harbaugh might be fired. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, it can happen, but until it does happen, I'm not really going to pay much attention at all to any of it.
Who's more likely to be in the NFL at the start of the 2022 season, Jim Harbaugh or Ryan Day?
Neither.
I said more.
more likely. Okay, well, do we think they're both equally attractive to the NFL? Because like on the one side, we're gauging how much they want to go, but on the other side, like, which coach do you think is more?
I think Jim Harbaugh is. Jim Harbaugh's been to a Super Bowl.
Agreed. I
I
think Jim Harbaugh is more attractive.
There are some programs out there like the Raiders or like the Jaguars who might just want some competency.
I mean,
right?
The Raiders hiring a coach whose name everybody knows, I can't imagine that happening.
Dabo Sweeney to the Raiders. Wait.
Hey, I mean, Mike Mayock can just cut out the middleman. And
I mean, you saw Todd Bates go to Oklahoma. This Clemson staff is just falling apart. It's clearly signaling.
and if ever I thought of an NFL job that just makes me scream Dabo Sweeney, it's
the
Las Vegas.
We laugh, but I don't know. I am laughing.
Dabo just holding court at a roulette table or a craps table. I could see that happening, but
he and Prince Chedward are actually going to be sitting at the same poker table. I saw them exchanging eyes and information at the end of that Cheez-It Bowl.